Hello learners, bonjour, aux apprenants, and welcome to Learn French with Likiza. Today we are going to learn 10 words in English which are borrowed from French. Some of them you may be already aware of or even using without thinking much of their French origin. So let's go through them together. Probably a common word in English borrowed from French is déjà vu. And Beyonce has a song titled Deja-Vu. Baby, I swear it's deja vu. And in it, she teamed up with her husband, Jay-Z. I'm not sure if they were married at that time or they were dating. I'm not so sure. Anyway, deja vu translates to already seen. And it means something that is not new. It has already been witnessed before. For example, the TV series is Deja Vu and not at all interesting. You have most likely seen this abbreviation in invites, RSVP. But did you know that it is actually French? And what it is in full is Répondez s'il vous plaît. Please respond, or respond if you please. And when you see it in invites, it's used to confirm your attendance to an event that you have been invited to. Then there is laisser-faire, and this translates to let it be. In English, it can be used to describe an easygoing type of personality. And sometimes this personality is not appreciated as such because it tends to let things be. For example, his laissez-faire attitude made his employees lazy. Another common word in English that is borrowed from French is vis-a-vis. And what this translates to is face-to-face. And from our previous lessons here, you know that visage in French translates to face. In English, vis-a-vis can be used as a preposition of place to mean facing something or opposite to something. It can also be used as a noun to mean meeting, and it can also be used for comparison. Let us look at some sentence examples to illustrate this. We sat vis-a-vis in the carriage. The vis-a-vis with the boss was tense. If you check your weight vis-a-vis your height, you will know if you're within a healthy range. What about tête-à-tête? This is another French loanword to English which translates to head to head. And we know la tête is head in French. But what it means in English is a private conversation between two people. For example, we had a wonderful tête-à-tête last night. Then there's also etiquette, which probably you guessed or you knew originated from French. And indeed, you were right, because etiquette comes from the word etiquette, which were little cards during the reign of King Louis XIV that contained rules and regulations that courtiers were required to follow at court. In English, etiquette means proper manners. For example, he lacks the etiquette required for someone from such a high standing. Oh, I sound like a snob when I say that. Anyway, Netflix has some shows on monarchs, and I'm sure King Louis XIV has been featured as a main character in one. So you can check that out, or you can read history and discover more about this French king. Then we have avant-garde, which in French translates to advanced guard or vanguard. And what this word means is someone who is visionary, i.e. quite innovative and looking ahead of time, in other words. For example, I really enjoyed my visit to the art gallery. Some of the pieces are avant-garde. Ballet is yet another word in English borrowed from French. Did you know that? Now you do. And even how we pronounce it is pretty much how it's pronounced in French. Ballet. Debris is also of French origin. Debris in French translates to broken or crumbled, but it can also mean waste or rubbish. But in English, debris is the aftermath of an explosion or a car crash or a natural disaster. For example, after the heavy floods, there was a lot of debris on the streets. Our last word is well known to many, not only English speakers. Champagne. In English, we pronounce it as champagne. In French, we pronounce it as champagne. And this is a white sparkling wine originating from the old province of Champagne in France. Nowadays, Champagne is within the Grand Est region in France. But it can also refer to white sparkling wine from anywhere else, not necessarily France. Something interesting I discovered in my previous research is that Kiswahili or Swahili also has some French loanwords in its vocabulary. A word like champ, for example, which translates to field in English, in Kiswahili it becomes shamba to mean farm or plot of land where you can also build a home. Another word is du vin, which in English it means some wine. In Kiswahili it becomes divai to mean wine. Now back to today's video. Do you know of any other French loanwords in English which I have left out? And I must warn you, there are over 1,000, close to 7,000 actually, or even more, who knows? Please put them in comments and possibly a brief explanation of them. If you enjoyed today's lesson, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. You can also ring the notification bell so that you are always notified of new videos as soon as I upload them. You can check out my pinned comment to see the ways that you can be able to support my work. A bientôt!